マリア、今、なんて言った？
Maria had just said something, but since the words were so remotely separate from the flow and context of the conversation, I couldn't understand them for a second. When I tried to ask her to repeat it again, I was shocked by the sudden sound of Ao-Natsu's loud voice coming from the entrance to the parlor. It looked like Ao-Natsu and Ao-Deva had returned from their trip to see grandfather.
無線でも連絡できない？こんな時に使えなくて何のための防災無線ですか？
申し訳ございません。毎年保守点検はさせているはずなのですが。
On the first twilight, offered the six chosen by the key as sacrifices. As I said before, this definitely resembles the first twilight of the epitaph. And we can definitely say that these sacrifices that this epitaph is talking about is the bodies that we found in the storehouse. But what does this mean when it says chosen by the key? What is the key, I wonder, in this case?
ほら、光をチカチカさせるみたいな船舶信号ってあるじゃない？
Fall for the six chosen by the key. Could it be that this key is somebody in particular? Somebody chose those six people to be dead, and then a completely different person did it? Killed those people? In which case, either we're talking about Beatrice, who is the key in this, which doesn't really make sense. She chose those six bodies, and then somebody did the deed and killed them? That, or we're talking about two people involved in this, not just one. A killer and an accomplice.
そういうので向こうの島に連絡することはできないのかしら？
そのような設備はございません。申し訳ございません。
Just then, Kumasawa arrived, pushing a serving cart loaded with breakfast. Oh, good. Let me have my mackerel over here. This is getting really weird. Especially with Maria's weird reaction over here and how she responds. I mean, again, maybe she doesn't fully realize the concept of death, that Rosa won't be with Maria anymore. That, or, I don't know, maybe she's being possessed by a witch or something, I don't fucking know. Since there was no way we'd been able to eat in the dining hall, Hideyoshi had ordered her to take it to the parlor. Yeah, well, might as well. Let me just eat my mackerel over here.
なぜ朝食をこちらに？
ああ、夏日さん、それは後で話す。
Yeah, let's just say that nobody will want to eat in the dining hall for the rest of our stay over here. You can deduce why.
それよりエヴァ、お父さんはどうなんや？ご一緒でないところを見ると、このような事態になっても部屋から出ませんか？
いないわ。部屋は空っぽだったのよ。
What? He's not there anymore? Huh. Okay, also, I did hear that ping little thing, or it's more like a water drop of some sorts, which means that something got updated. Oh my. Kinzo. He disappeared from his study. Kinzo's study has everything from a bed to a toilet to a bathtub, so it is extremely rare for him to go outside. He even has a bathtub and a toilet? However, he does occasionally go out for a walk on a whim without telling anybody, and his disappearance invariably leads to a huge uproar throughout the house. He usually comes back as soon as he gets hungry. Usually. Huh.
なんやて？こんな時にどこ行ったんや？
親方様が書斎を出られたというのですか？
そうです。私も驚いています。いつの間に部屋を出たのやら。
Well, we do know that Natsuki talked to Kinzo before discovering the bodies, so he was definitely there. He left afterwards.
あなたたちに心当たりはないのですか？
Natsuki looked at Genji and Kanon as she said this. Maybe she was trying to ask whether the servants who served directly under the one-winged eagle knew of a place he might go. However, it was probably the other way around. Their faces made it clear that those who knew Kinzo best realized even more than the rest how impossible it was for him to leave his room.
僕たちにも見当がつきません。
ご存知の通り、親方様はあの書斎の中にお休みの場所からご不浄まで全てを設けさせました。親方様があの部屋をお出になることなどよっぽどのことがない限り考えられません。
となると、なんや、そのよっぽどのことがあったって考えるのが自然だっちゅうことになるんか。
Yeah. I mean, what would those significant reasons be?
まだそうと決まったわけではありません。とにかく気まぐれな方ですから、現状をご存知なくお一人で散歩をされている可能性もあります。
Yeah. I mean, once again, we can go with the possibility that he walked outside and did something in particular. Just like yesterday when we thought of the possibility that he walked outside, dressed as Beatrice himself, because of how obsessive he is of Beatrice, and gave Maria the umbrella and the letter.
仮にそうだとしたら、一刻も早く現状をお知らせして、ご指示を仰がねばなりません。
そうね。考えたくはないけど、お父様の身に何かあったのかもしれないしね。
そのような不吉なことは考えたくもありません。
No one had seen Kinzo since the discovery of those 6 terrible corpses. On top of that, the phones were broken, the radio wouldn't reach anyone, and there was no way to contact the police. Apparently, the typhoon would leave tomorrow and a boat would come. But until then, no one could rely on anyone outside the island, nor could they escape the island. The tragedy had hit everyone so abruptly that they lost all their composure. Oh, the tragedy. Oh, the tragedy. Everyone felt a heavy silence. Everyone was impatient. Even though they needed to do something, they couldn't think of anything. So some of them held their heads in their arms while others got irritated. Right now, no one could explain what was occurring on this island, Urokenjima. After that, we ate the breakfast Kumasawa had made, which felt dry and tasteless. Of course, this was right after something like that had happened. Yeah, not even the macro can save us. It felt empty, for sure. No one felt particularly hungry. However, we understood logically that not eating would weaken our bodies. It would also be rude to Kumasawa, who had made breakfast. Alright, well, thank you, Kumasawa. Kumasawa had taken some unusual Western vegetables, ones that Goda-san had probably ordered for his ultra-elaborate meals, and cooked them in a Japanese style, which made them turn an unpleasant color. As to what Goda-san had been planning to cook with those ingredients, right then I couldn't even imagine. If I did think about it, I'd be reminded of the way Goda-san died, and a sour taste would fill the inside of my mouth. Everyone pretended to eat for the time being, but of course no one had made much progress. Then we began putting our knowledge of our current situation. First off, 6 people, which included Uncle Kraus, my dad, Kirie-san, Aunt Rosa, Goda-san, and Shannon-chan. had been found in a rose garden storehouse as brutally mutilated corpses. And yet, we still couldn't contact the police, since both the phones and the radio were unusable. So, until the time phone passed, there was nothing we could do. Furthermore, grandfather, who we might have hoped would be able to show a little leadership in this kind of situation, had disappeared some time ago. Goda-san hadn't made breakfast, so grandfather's stomach must have been empty. And if he had just been taking a casual walk, we should have been able to hear him whining about how hungry he was by now, or yelling Beatrice's name, like left and right. And despite that, he hadn't appeared. There was more than a small chance that he'd gotten caught up in this crime. According to my aunts, on their way back from Kinzo's study, they searched for him, calling out on every floor, but were unable to find him. Considering the timing of it all, it's unreasonable to assume that this disappearance had something to do with the crime. We figured Dad and the rest were probably killed in the dining hall, and then painstakingly moved to the storehouse. So maybe grandfather has already been killed, and dragged to some strange place, which we simply haven't discovered yet. No one actually said it out loud, but this theory seemed extremely convincing. I mean, if somebody is following the epitaph, trying to follow that and kill people, then we wouldn't have a seventh body. At least right now, that is. Unless we're talking about a completely different killer that is not following the epitaph, and we have an extra dead body somewhere. That will be the cherry on top.
私たちはお屋敷の戸締まりを確認してきます。お父様も念入りに探さなければなりません。子供たちはこの部屋を出ないように。エヴァさんと秀吉さんは申し訳ありませんが、ここで子供たちと一緒にいてください。南條先生もお願いいたします。
わかりました。ここでお待ちしています。
Once he followed the servants, Genju-san, Kumasawa, and Kano-kun out of the parlor. All that was left was Aunt Neva, Uncle Hideyoshi, Dr. Nanjo, and the four of us children, a total of 7 people.
みんなで仲良くテレビでも見て待ってよな。しかし日曜日の午前中はろくな番組やっとらへんな。
Uncle Hideyoshi started acting cheerfully, trying to brighten up this gloomy atmosphere.
ろくな番組見る。
お、そうか。マリアちゃんはテレビ見るか。じゃ、おじさんと一緒に見ような。
Let's have fun time with your Uncle Hideyoshi. Oh. Maria was the only one who joined in. Even though Maria had been told of her mother's death, she didn't show the slightest flicker in her emotions. It is either because she's not fully comprehending what this all means, or something is going on over here. Was it really normal for a 9-year-old girl like Maria to act so much like a very young child? Everyone else's mood failed to improve, and they each sank absentmindedly into their sofas.
兄貴、聞いていいか。
なんだい。
さっき倉庫で兄貴はシャノンちゃんの指輪の話をしたよな。あれ送ったのは兄貴か。
George Aniki didn't answer, but he hung his head and closed both his eyes. There could be no clearer response.
よせよパトラ。少しは察しろよ。
だな。悪いことを聞いたぜ。
そうさ、僕だよ。彼女に昨べ求婚したんだ。その時指輪を渡した。明日になったらそれを好きな指にはめて返事としてくれって。
Oh, you got your answer, George. But not in a way that you liked. Like at all.
気ざったらしいことを言ってね。
And that ring had been on the ring finger of Shannon-chan's left hand.
私さ、数年前からシャドウに相談を受けてたぜ。ジョージ兄さんのことでさ。
なんて言ってたのかな。
シャノンは嘘をつくのが下手だったからよ。ジョージ兄さんのことを言ってるのはすぐにバレバレでさ。自分は使用人の身分だけど親しくしてもいいのだろうかとか、男の人の好きそうなものは何かとか、どういう服を着たら喜ぶかとか、そんなことをいろいろとさ。なんつうのか、そのまあ焼けたぜ。
それが婚約指輪を渡されておしまいかよ。
価値観は人それぞれだけどよ、男から求婚されるってのは人生の到達点なんだと思うんだよ。だからきっと昨夜のシャノンは心の底から、いや生まれてから今までの中で一番幸せだったと思うぜ。
George sighed deeply, without raising his head. Or maybe tears had risen to his eyes.
シャノンは昨べゲストハウスの当番だったらしいんだ。でもシャノンは僕と一緒にゲストハウスに帰るのを恥ずかしがってお屋敷に行ってしまった。
Yeah, that has to be it.
シャノンの気持ちを察しろよ。婚約指輪をもらえばどんなに予告されてたって普通は舞い上がっちまって頭は真っ白になっちまうぜ。気恥ずかしくて仕方なかったんだろうよ。
それでシャノンは当番でないはずのお屋敷へ行き、そこで郷田さんの仕事を手伝い事件に巻き込まれてしまった。僕があの日あの場所で指輪なんか渡さなければシャノンはサヨは事件に巻き込まれなかったんだ。
Okay, well, you don't need to blame yourself for this, George. You couldn't have known. You cannot just say something like that.
兄貴、それだけは違うぜ。断じて違う。だからそれ以上泣くんじゃねえ。
バトラー君、そっとしてあげなさい。
After all Deva said that, I stopped talking to him. I mean, if there is one positive that we can get out of this, it is that Shannon died happy. That Shannon was happy before her death, so that is one good thing that we can get out of this. Misplaced words of comfort might actually do more harm than good. And Jessica sat down next to Nanaki and put an arm around him. Maybe only Jessica, who had known about Aniki and Shannon's love since the beginning, and who had even discussed their relationship with Shannon, could comfort Aniki now. I went over to Aunt Eva and sat down in the opposite sofa.
バトラ君は強いわね。もうだいぶしっかりしているように見えるわよ。
まあほら、愛の深さが傷の深さじゃないですか。俺は別にあんなクソ親父同志の方が知ったことじゃないし、キリエさんは気の毒ですが、まあ本当の親ってわけじゃないですしね。
あら、という割にはさっきすっごく大泣きしてたわよ。
Yeah, your actions tell you otherwise.
まあ育ての親に対する恩はあのくらい泣けば OK かと思いまして。
そのあたりの切り替えの速さやドライなあたりは本当にルドルフ譲りね。あの子は昔から激しく喜んだり悲しんだり怒ったりしたけれど、すぐにケロリと平静を取り戻したわ。
そんなことはないっすよ。俺だってまだまだ心のショックから立ち直れちゃいません。
Yeah. And something tells me that will linger for a really long time.
ただ俺がみんなと違うのは、それによってどういう感情が生み出されるかってことだと思います。
Yeah, it kinda does feel like you are being really angry deep inside, aren't you, Beller?
どういうこと？
I've been acting much calmer than George, Anki, and Jessica. That wasn't because my sadness was any less intense, or because I'd already recovered. But that is because this song is playing in my head. Oh, detective-y style, so that makes me feel a little bit more calm. Thinking about it like a murder mystery. My sadness was simply getting replaced gradually with a different emotion.
悲しいっていうよりは腹立たしいって気持ちなんすよ。
Yeah.
どこのドイツがこんなことをしやがったのか。横っ面に一発お見舞いしてやらないことには腹の虫が収まらねんです。
Okay, let's not go that direction, Battler. You're pissed, but let's not add to the body count. That was what I really wanted to do. I couldn't forgive myself if I just sat there, overwhelmed with sadness and hugging my knees.
親父たちが殺されて以降、この島は台風に包まれたままです。つまりこれだけの上等を決めてくれやがった野郎はまだこの島の中にいるってことです。
そういうことになるわね。今も暗い森のどこかに身を潜めているのかしら。
Yeah, I'm thinking of that possibility as well. That or our killer used some magic to fly out of this island. I felt like I'd had a very similar conversation with Kiria-san the night before. And that's right. After the letter from the person claiming to be Beatrice appeared at the dining table last night, we talked about whether or not a 19th person actually exists.
エヴァおばさん、この殺人、昨夜のベアトリーチェの手紙と何か関連があるんでしょうかね。
ああ、例の？さあ、どうかしらね。
Okay, again, tone it down on your 90s anime woman over here and talk to us normally.
あの手紙はお父様が遺産問題に絡みたくて出した怪文書という見方で兄弟は一致したんだけれども、それと今朝の事件に関係があるかは今の段階では分かりかねるわね。
Yeah.
あの手紙、本当にベアトリーチェなんて魔女がマリアに渡したんすかね。
I mean, it could truly be Beatrice, like we talked about before. That she gave Maria the letter and the umbrella. But somebody else did the killing.
まさか。
But they are connected though, that's for sure. There is no way you cannot see the connection there.
全部お父様の仕組んだ茶番でしょ。シャノンちゃんあたりに肖像画のドレスを着させてマリアちゃんを騙したんでしょ。 お父様らしい手の込みすぎたいたずらだと思うけど。
I don't know. Honestly, I don't see Kinzo as the type of prankster that would do such a thing.
ゆうべキリエさんとベアトリーチェは実在するんだろうかって話をしたんですけど、キリエさんも俺たち18人の中にベアトリーチェがいるだろうと言ってましたね。
そんなの当然じゃない。この島には私たちしかいないのよ。なら私たちの中の誰かがベアトリーチェを語ったに決まってるじゃない。
この島には俺たち以外はいないすか。
当然でしょ。私たち以外の誰がここにいるっていうの？
I wonder about that.
この島には私たちしかいない。18人しかいない。ならベアトリーチェを語るのも18人の中の誰かしかいないじゃない。
Kirie-san denied the existence of a 19th person by spinning a chessboard around. He would have hand-constructed an argument that complicated. Her opinion at least was the same. Okay, well, that is something to take into account. Eva is telling us that Eva is completely denying the existence of a 19th person. Except if that's the case, our situation starts to look very ugly. At the time of Beatrice's letter, the whole thing could be passed off as a prank set up by someone or another. However, if we're assuming there's no 19th person, we cannot ignore this anymore. In other words,
19人目がいないなら親父たちを殺した犯人も18人の中にいるってことになっちまうじゃないですか。つまり今この屋敷にいる誰かが殺したってことになる。
Anteva smiled meaningfully. It looked like she thought this conclusion should have been obvious from the very beginning.
犯人は倉庫の中に6人の遺体を運び込んだわ。でもよく倉庫の中に運び込めたわよね。あのシャッターは常に閉められていて施錠されていたそうよ。つまり倉庫内に運び込むにはシャッターの施錠を開ける必要があった。
Okay, let's think about this. Davler, Jessica, George, and Maria were in the guest house and went to sleep. Cannon had the night shift at the guest house as well. Meanwhile, those that have died were in the mansion, so clearly the killer had nothing to do with the guest house in the first place. So there's that. With that being said, let's see about those that were in the mansion. Kumasawa didn't have the night shift, so she more than likely went to bed. Meanwhile, we had Hideyoshi and Eva that went to their rooms. And other than that, the rest, well, they were in the dining hall. I'm mentioning all this because for a killer to murder 6 people in the middle of the night, it would be very risky. I mean, we're not talking about one person that is killed by the murderer, and they are trying to hide the body somewhere in the middle of the night. But 6 people.
わかる？
たまたまその日シャッターが開けっぱなしになってた可能性は？
使用人たちは常に閉めていると言ってたわ。つまり鍵を使用人室から持ち出さなくては倉庫は絶対に開けられない。
鍵は使用人室の一つしかないんすかね。
And I'm also gonna have to mention this particular detail. The victims could have screamed before their death if they found out that somebody was going after them and killing them. If somebody were to scream, then Eva or Hideyoshi or Goda or anybody else in the mansion would have heard it. So, unless we're talking about every single one of them being on this, It could be that the killer took them by surprise. The victims didn't even know that they were gonna get killed in that split second.
源氏さんはそうだと言ってるわ。ということは、犯人はそのたった一つの倉庫の鍵のありかを知っていて持ち出した。さっき、カノン君が使用人室に鍵を戻すところを見たわ。壁にびっしりと鍵がかけられていて、とても素人にはどこに何がかけてあるのかわからなかった。
I mean, unless there were names under those keys that could tell you, obviously.
犯人はその中から倉庫の鍵を見事選び出したのよ。
But I guess so. I guess there was a wall packed with keys, and you're telling us that there are no names there. Which means that the killer knew exactly which key to choose.
しかも札も何もついていない鍵を手にしてバラ庭園裏にある倉庫の鍵だと理解した。
Oh, in which case they definitely had it planned.
ついでに言うと倉庫の場所すら理解していた。
Which would make us think that it is one of the people that already lived here, not necessarily those that came to the island, like Ueva, Hideyoshi, or anything like that. Either the killer is a servant, or somebody that lived in this house, like Kraus, Natsuhi, Jessica, Kinzo.
もっとはっきり断言するわ。犯人は使用人室の内部にも熟知している。
Our argument was extremely plain and clear. If the bodies had been found thrown somewhere in the bushes of the rose garden, there wouldn't have been much to go on. However, there was only one key to the storehouse in the servant room, and it was stored with such a large group of keys. The novice would not be able to tell them apart. Yeah. So the killer chose such a location that would make us think of who could have done it. If they were the servant, then that's kind of bad for the killer. They could have just dumped them in some bushes and have the bodies be discovered easily like that, without leaving clues behind. And yet they did that. That, or the killer is definitely not a servant, and did it this way to make us think that he is one of the servants. That is a possibility. This meant the culprit was someone who went into the servant room and locked, and was familiar with the locations of the keys. The family members didn't normally go into the servant room, which meant that...
ってことは使用人の誰かが犯人。
Possible, but not conclusive at all. Again, maybe somebody tried to pin the blame. Maybe somebody is pinning the crime on one of the servants. Someone that isn't a servant.
悪いけど、それ以上はおばさんも言えないわよ。
Like, the killer knows that we would reach that sort of theory. So they're using that against us.
でも、一つだけ教えられることがあるわ。
なんすか？
犯人たちは複数で、そして十分な武装をしていたと考えられるわ。だってそうでしょ？食堂にいた兄さんたち4人を一度に襲って殺し、合計6人分の遺体をようようとバラ庭園の向こうの倉庫まで運んで、悪趣味な化粧と落書きを施している。
Yeah. I mean, unless Rosa, Kraus, Kyrie, and Rudolph, each of them are in different locations, and they were killed in those different locations, we would find different places with different blood inside them. And yet we only found the dining hall with blood in it, which would make us think that all 4 of them were killed in here. And that's quite a difficult task, to kill 4 people one place without leaving traces except for the blood here.
これだけのことを単独犯で行えるはずもないでしょう。
Not to mention that there will be a lot more signs of struggling in this place if there were 4 people that were killed by one person or multiple people. Made sense. It probably would have been possible for a single person with enough time, but it would take so incredibly long. It was probably safe to assume that a significant number of people were involved.
ひゅーってことはエヴァおばさんは使用人の人たちがみんなグルだろって言ってんすか。
静かになさいな。憶測で言っちゃ悪いわよ。それにもし本当にそうだったらどうするつもり？彼らは私たちを生かして返さないでしょうね。しかも兄さんたち4人をやすやすと殺した相手なのよ。今この部屋に残っていてまともに戦えそうな人間はうちの家族の3人にせいぜいバトラ君で4人ってところ。状況は昨晩と何も変わらない。つまり犯人にとって残る私たちを皆殺しにするなんて簡単なことなのよ。
I've been playing detective without Eva, trying to expose the person who had killed Dad and the rest before the police did. If only I could cleverly penetrate the culprit's identity and stick the proof in their face. I've been so sure that, just like in one of those detective movies or visual novels or whatever, the culprit would then give up and surrender. However, the culprit would only surrender if there was no way for them to fight back. The culprits behind the crime on this island were far from helpless, and might even be able to massacre all the remaining people here. On top of that, this island was like a giant closed room, cut off from the outside world by the typhoon. So they had a full day, until tomorrow, to kill, scheme, and camouflage themselves. In short, it wasn't a safe atmosphere where we could get very far by playing detective. To the contrary, we were at a stage where we had to be scared stiff, since playing detective might displease the culprits. Oh, it might displease the culprits. But if we are to stick to it, we might impose fear on them and cause them to commit another mass murder.
あくまでも可能性の問題よ。でも私は使用人の人たちをまだ信用できないわね。それに私は使用人だけを疑ってるわけじゃないわ。さらに黒幕がいるかもしれないと思ってるわよ。
黒幕？
A mastermind?
どうしてですか？
You gotta be kidding me.
勘よ。使用人は書いて字のごとし。誰かに使用されて手足となる存在よ。
So what you're trying to say is that the servants were following Kinzo's orders? Are you thinking that Kinzo is the mastermind?
殺されたのは後宮家の親族ばかり。なら、その結果で利害が発生する人間が関わるのは当然。
Hope. Despair. The battle between the two is as old as time. Or rather, as stinky as a rotten banana stuffed inside your school bag for the entirety of the summer. And once you start school again and open your bag, you're all, "Yusa! Me sono like banana poopa." Alright, so a little bit of context. Back when I participated in that first killing game that I mentioned, apparently the mastermind had this hard-on for spreading despair, seeing hope crushed. This would become an ongoing battle between those fighting alongside the mastermind to spread despair, and those who survive to bring back hope in those that have lost it. It's not something that can be described very easily. I am leaving out a lot of details here, which might be for the best. I consider myself a very hopeful person, and while back then I was young and, of course, on the side of hope, it didn't take long to realize that I was fighting a battle that I was not built for, so I left it in the hands of the survivors for them to do the right thing. I have hope that they will achieve peace in the end. I, however, have always been a detective whose goal is to solve murder mysteries, which is what I did even to this day after the killing games stopped. I won't lie though, the killing games I've been in had some of the craziest murder setups I've seen. The students who became the culprits were very creative. After the Hope's Peak Academy killing game, there was the Jabberwock Island killing game. And some of the murders that happened there were so crazy that, well, let's just say that you still won't see me visiting funhouses anytime soon. Am I surprised that once more we have a murder case set on an island out of all things? To that my answer is, I am used to life throwing coconuts at me. And if there is one thing that I've learned from my experiences on Jabberwock Island, it is that islands can be infinite in their mysteries and the shenanigans one may experience. If you were to tell me beforehand that on such island, I would be searching the inside of a mansion at night, like a ghostbuster, I would believe you. Come out. Come out, wherever you are. Beatrice. Erica. Monokuma. Mario. Ha! Show yourself! Put your hands up or I'll suck you up real good. Yeah. You know, I still haven't found anything that connects Erica to whatever is going on this island. I mean, there has to be some connection somewhere. But something tells me I won't be able to find it for a while. So until then, I think I should forget about her and focus on Beatrice. And the stunt double for Kung Fu Panda. What was that? I think I saw movement. Okay, who is there? I know I saw someone. If it's you, Beatrice, show yourself. If it's you, Monokuma, fuck off and die, will ya? What the? What? Monokuma! His... What happened? It's morning. Oh, that's just great. Did I just seriously fall asleep? Huh. How did this happen, I wonder?